dollar signs. We got to get into it. It's very important. You dig? Reason being, it just is. This is important. You understand? So now, let me I gotta share this with you first though. We finally got her. Ghislaine Maxwell. She is Jeffrey Epstein's handler. They call her confidant. Her name is Ghislaine Maxwell. Sold for. She probably killed herself too, because she probably got more information than he did. So let me play this right quick.
Breaking news on Jeffrey Epstein, Fox News alert. We are just now learning the FBI has confirmed to Fox News that Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend and accused madam, was arrested today, 8:30 a.m. In Bradford, New Hampshire. The charges are sealed. This is brand new information, but she has been arrested. As we get news on this, we'll bring that to you. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah, that's his fake girlfriend. So they ain't got a lot of information on her, you know what I mean? Because she was in on everything that he was in on, but that's not his handler. You know what I'm saying? So I misspoke, and thank you for the correction. But I'm gonna get into this reading part here right about now, because this information is juicy in this book, man. The new map, Millennial Assembly Protocol with the dollar signs. Chapter 3, local space rollout. This chapter gives overview of fundamental components for the local space rollout plan and the purposes of the components. Space stands for Silver Party Conference Embassy. 3 milestones easily achieved with unity and duplicated in all major cities to connect a national asset matrix. Afterwards, then duplicated internationally for a global diaspora asset matrix. It's abbreviated GDAM, not goddamn, it's GDAM. When this compatibility matrix is operating at high capacity, Black engineers will be able to produce software like Alexa, so we can ask, quote, who can I partner with to start a $10 million per year company in the city, country of wherever, end quote. And based on your profile, the software shows you executive summaries for several $10 million per year business plans and gives you instant direct access to discuss with your potential partners in the city or country you asked for. This rollout is more than just silver parties, conferences, and embassies. This is new businesses, new employment, peace treaties, and healing for the minds, spirits, and bodies of Black America, by Black America, for Black America. Silver Party. The space rollout begins with a silver party. A silver party is a focused group of influential Black promoters, event coordinators, and marketers in a territory. They meet and get introduced to the map and space rollout plan. Promoters who get on board are the Silver Party. When there is a need to plan a major activity for the rollout process, it's planned by the Silver Party. They use the map to pledge resources for the activity. At the meetings, they vote on the fundamental decisions, including activity leadership. The first activity they plan is local migration conference. Several parties are held at a public location. For everyone's safety during the COVID-19 era, before entering, attendees disinfect their bodies from viruses with military-grade medical silver. Migration conferences. Migration conferences generate 1,008 Black business ventures every 7 hours with a 1-hour lunch break that features music and entertainment. Leadership teams are also established at migration conference in a promotional territory. 24 Black multimillionaires. The format is a gathering of 24 Black multimillionaires, 12 men and 12 women, and their teams, including 6 chiefs, each together in a venue with 3,000 plus Black business people. These millionaire teams are called the Elders of Assembly. They figure out 144 Black business ventures per hour using the new map to analyze the available resources. When a business venture is formed by the elders, the partners to meet each other for validation. If everyone checks out and the partners want to move forward, the business is registered and commits a percentage of its net profits to the embassy to be used for the local rollout of a Black American city. Embassy. The embassy is the official assembly and admin building for diplomacy with the African Union headquarters in Africa and neighboring jurisdictions on American soil. I'm going to add this is not in the book, but we have direct contact to the chairman of the African Union. So the chairman of the 55 countries, I can contact him. And the ambassador, the lady that we all see all the time talking for the African Union, the beautiful older lady. We can contact her directly. So those are kind of like similar to the top 2 people. They're not the top 2 most influential people, but they are in those seats of power, the top 2 seats of power, the ambassador for the African Union and the chairman of the African Union, right here. Each embassy is responsible for building a Black city under the jurisdiction of the African Union's 6th region in America. That's how we're designated in the United States. The United Nations designated us descendants of slaves, being a unique and special group with unique experiences, a unique shared experience of the transatlantic slave trade, and we deserve reparations from the United States, from what they say. But me personally, I wouldn't approach the United States. I would approach the former debtors that the United States took on the debt of, because the debt that has been generated, the unlimited debt that has been generated by the slave trade and the slavers and the slave traders and the ones who sold us to the Africans, the ones who sold us to the Europeans who were the Africans. So the Arabs sold us to the Africans and the Africans sold us to the Europeans. You see? Because the Europeans conquered the sub-Saharan slave trade and started one of their own. So the Africans did not keep us back there in order to keep us as slaves. I don't think. I could be wrong. But them making the deal with the devil, right? They were eventually conquered too. You see what I'm saying? So the Africans were eventually conquered as well. The Arabs were eventually conquered. So that was just a silly move for them to do that. So when we got here and they had, we basically came here because uh, they had slaughtered all the Native Americans, and the Native Americans were not backing down. They stayed relentless and just never gave up and just never conceded. So they just continued to kill every Native American to the tune of 99%, 98, 99%. And the remaining 2 to 1% were sent on the Trail of Tears to the Midwest. So when they tried to get the Native Americans to keep us as slaves, some Native American tribes accepted us and then gave us the choice of the land and the choice of their women. You know what I mean? Because whenever back in the day, right, whenever you become one people with somebody, you know what I mean? Whenever you become a citizen of a nation or something like that, right? Well, a historical nation is a family unit. So people would adopt people into their family, and then as they adopt people into their family, they work for each other. They give each other their lands, the choices of their lands and the choices of their crops and livestock. And then they give each other the choices of their daughters and sons to marry in order to keep growing the nation. You know what I'm saying? Each embassy is responsible for building a Black city under the jurisdiction of the African Union's sixth region in America. So the sixth region is the African Americans, the descendants of slaves designated by the United Nations. They designated us the descendants of slaves, a unique group that deserves reparations from the United States. But like I said, there were so many culprits other than the United States, all of them will be held accountable sooner or later. It's only a matter of time. And it was only a matter of events. I look at things in the form of events. So when certain events take place, the next event can happen. So that can be any moment, anytime we choose to perform the events that need to take place in order to retrieve our superiorities. You understand? So when they talk about equal rights, what they have been doing all of this time, or putting the wool over our eyes, right? They have been trying to make us equal. So that sounds counterintuitive, correct? But what I mean is that they realize our superiority. This is why they hindered us during slavery and said it's illegal for us to read, it's illegal for us to wear shoes, it's illegal for us to be outside of the presence of the slave master. And if outside of the presence of the slave master, capture them quickly, bring them back to the slave master. It's illegal to read, illegal to wear shoes. It was illegal to do many, many frivolous things. And that was due to them recognizing our superiority. So they had to bring us to their level, bring us down to their level, you understand? But how can they hold us back? Well, I mean, we are the most influential in Earth, you understand? So we steer the world economy, you know what I mean? We don't produce the world economy because we've already done our work as far as production is concerned. So we have invented everything that they use. The internet was invented by a Black man. Everything that you can possibly imagine was invented by a Black man, except for lots of forms of debauchery and stuff like that. You understand? So they recognize that and they're trying to give us equal rights. So they're trying to bring us down to their level of equality, you understand? So that's why they do everything in their power to put stumbling blocks in our way. But you can't hold us back. We're just too powerful. You understand? So they did everything in their power to try to genocide us like they did the Native Americans. 98% of a population being killed is defined as genocide. And so this is why the Native Americans rightfully receive a small portion of reparations to the tune of maybe I want to say it's like 100 billion over the years that they have received, something like that, which is a very small amount compared to what they should receive. A minimum of 40 local diplomatic embassies will be located all over America. Identical in appearance, the embassy buildings will be instantly recognizable all over the country. Audience response system. The audience response system displays all the text messages it receives from the audience in a long list shown on a big screen in front of the audience in real time. A custom system will be designed to make the list interactive. Conductor of assembly. Fancy title for the host or the MC. This person instructs the live audience through the map process to keep things moving in harmony. Calls business partners for validation and keeps them informed on what's happening, and announces speakers, segments, special announcements, etc. Crowd of business people. The business crowd is the fuel of this business hyper engine. The common denominator of everyone in the crowd is they all came prepared to put something they own on the table. Having the expressed intent to collaborate with each other to secure the future of our children with diplomatic standing and a place for Black sensitive shelter during times of economic crisis where we can manage our own analysis and emergency response operations. So when you get diplomatic standing, you have to notify quite a number of institutions, and you know what I mean. So you take it diplomatic standing, and then you warehouse it in those institutions, like maybe 20 of them, right? And so my dude only gave me like a list of 9, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm dumb, so like I don't know what's going on around here. You got to send it like 20 different places, but he ain't send me all of it. But you're gonna get your diplomatic card, cause it looks kind of like that, you know what I mean? Wait, hold on a second. Let me hold it a different way, maybe so you can see it. Get you a diplomatic card, you know what I'm saying? It's like that right there, you know what I mean? So, you know, so if you show that in traffic, like you get pulled over by a police officer or something, you ain't got no weapons on you, you know what I mean? And nobody called the police on you, so they don't have a reason to just shoot you in the face like they always do. Then you show that to them, then they will instantly back off. Some police officers won't know what it is, and then they'll have to call their watch commander, and then they'll have to pull up the list of diplomats. The diplomats are listed in public. It's public information. See what I'm saying? So they can look your name up anytime they choose, and they find out you're a diplomat. What that means is that they're not allowed to arrest you at all. Just period. They can't arrest you. So they have to let you go as well, because it's also in the diplomatic immunity that they can't harm you in any way. So if it's a actual police officer and not these KKK dressed up as a police officer, I'm talking about like a hired police officer. Now, but see, here recently, there's been a rash of fake. We realize that a lot of police officers are white nationalists, but what I'm saying is that most white nationalists are not police officers, and if they were to dress up as a police officer, then you probably just most likely dead anyway. But I'm saying that the uniformed hired police officers cannot harm you at all whenever they see that. So you need to do that. I told y'all this a couple times. All right, so now, crowd of business people. The business crowd is the fuel of this business hyper engine. The common denominator of everyone in the crowd is they all came prepared to put something they own on the table, having the express intent to collaborate with each other to secure the future of our children with diplomatic standing and a place for Black sensitive shelter during times of economic crisis where we can manage our own analysis and emergency response operations. So now, what I wanted to bring up about this paragraph here is that it says that you're ready to collaborate, right? So I've been designing clothes since I was 8 years old, you feel me? So now, when I was 8 years old, there was nothing but homosexual designers, nothing but LGBT designers. You see what I'm saying? So it was not trendy to be a heterosexual Black male designer until the information had reached like a couple of well, there was a couple of heterosexual designers, but nobody knew who they were. And so it was a guy that owned a company called DDTP World, DDTP World. He was heterosexual and was married to a woman. And Maurice Malone was a heterosexual male. So he started designing when I was like maybe 13 or 14 years old, you feel me? And then so once those two things started popping off real heavy, then like the rappers started getting into the game, and of course they just took over. You know what I mean? So it makes it virtually impossible for talented designers to break out into that market without a superstar co-signer. You see what I'm saying? So my homeboy had tried to get Usher to co-sign me, and then he got locked up for tax evasion or some bullshit that he did. High-level tech team. To get started, embassies can use and be successful with existing audience response technology, but eventually we need to develop a unique system geared specifically for our hyper business engine process. Turn this light on right quick. I need my old man glasses. Having tapped functionality for the 24 elders of assembly to know which items are untapped. A dedicated team for this work would be supported by the Embassy Development Trust that the business ventures contribute to. 6th Region of African Union. In 2005, the African Union made a power move by defining its 6th region as peoples of African origin living outside the continent, irrespective of their citizenship and nationality, and who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and the building of the African Union. So they basically adopted all of us. So they're kind of more sophisticated than we are at being that we are not a nation. The black people here don't comprehend becoming a nation. So I'm saying, so my vice president pro tem, he has a plan to, in order to practice being a nation. So we're going to attract at a minimum of 1.5 million black people in our cities, and through that practical governing, then he's going to approach the United States and the international community, all 195 countries, in order to be recognized as a nation. However, the chairman of the Nation of Yasharan, right? The Nation of Yasharan, you may have seen that that group that we have, the Nation of Yasharan. The chairman, he's doing it backwards. He's doing it the other way. He's being recognized as a nation first, and then attracting the people to his nation. You see what I'm saying? So we all getting prepared for that, and that's going to be a location in Africa. We're looking at Southeast Congo, which is, you know, a few thousand miles down from Burundi. It's right on the border of Tanzania. So we're gonna have that location for people. We already have 1,000 acres in Ghana right now that you can move to right now. Okay, so nobody wanted to believe me when that happened, until all the superstars started going over to Ghana and getting their own land. You know what I mean? Like what's that girl name? Cardi B and T.I. and them, they went over there and got some land, and a bunch of stars went over there and got some land over there in Ghana, because Ghana will pay you to live there. That's why everybody's going there. They told everybody, please come home. We need your help building our nation. And anybody that comes over here, we will pay you to live in our country. So some people are going. Some people don't want to go to Africa at all. I don't know what the problem is. So the people who want to stay here, we got 88 cities being built in the United States as we speak, and 40 embassies in the United States as we speak. And that includes 40 universities, because the embassy is going to be in the center of the university. The university is going to encompass the embassies, and then the city is going to encompass all of that. Okay. In 2005, the African Union made a power move by defining its sixth region as peoples of African origin living outside the continent, irrespective of their citizenship and nationality, and who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and the building of the African Union. So that reminds me, I'm not going to read that again. I have to read it again because I do these long pauses. But what I was trying to say earlier, the collaboration, you see what I'm saying, and the contribution. So, like I said, I've been designing clothes since I was 8 years old, and so many people do that. You know how many clothing designers America has, especially Black clothing designers that got super fly, dope, wonderful looking clothes, but they're not as huge as Versace and all the white names. Reason is that they don't link up with each other, but not with us. You get with us, everybody that has similar interests. You want to be a barber in our nation, you're gonna have to link up with every single other barber, and y'all gonna be in a Walmart cutting hair. You feel me? And so Same with clothing design, and that's what I'm gonna go with just for right now, because I'm a sheer type of guy, sheer physics type of guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I deal with. I just deal with. I'm a technologist, so I like to try to invent things. But at any rate, anybody that with similar interests are going to have to link up together in the same company, and they're going to build the $10 million companies that we're talking about very easily, because everybody's going to be on this, going to have the same interests, and they're going to have these ideas that are so flawless. You feel me? You know what I mean? This idea over here, that idea over here, is going to be 1,000 different ideas instead of one person in their garage trying to figure things out for themselves. And we're going to have heavy, successful people in place who already understand money and how to build super profitable businesses. And they're going to be teaching you what you need to do. So not just you, but everybody with your similar interests. You got 20 people over here that want to design clothes and make clothes. So they're going to be in the same company. They're going to elect a board of directors, you know what I mean? And they're going to have regular meetings. And then the people who are super successful are going to come in and train you all. See what I'm saying? We're going to pay him or her to train you. Just like there's a lady named by the name of Dr. Harnett. There's a lady by the name of Dr. Harnett. I would show it on the screen, but I'll show it right now. Dr. Harnett. She is she's doing scot-free, completely free training, unless somebody in Africa is paying her. But her students, me being one of them, I'm one of her students, we don't pay our teacher a thing. So this is free to us. And what she teaches is she teaches us how to import and export with Africa. Okay, so let me pull up Dr. Harnett, so just so y'all can get an idea of who that is. Okay, Dr. Harnett. Yeah, that's her. Okay, so she's a strategist, a speaker, and an author. Okay, so you go to drharnett.com and sign up for her class, Market Entry Strategy and Expansion, Business Trade Missions, Africa Business Executive Training, and Speaking. Increase your success rate in Africa. Yeah, so she is a complete 100% expert, and she has like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 students. And I was on the call the other day with 350 of her students at the same time. And she allows us to ask questions, and she doesn't get too agitated unless you disrupt the class and stuff like that. And, you know, it's just important to train yourself on things that you want to do. But let me finish reading it. I guess I'll just leave that up right now because it's too complicated to be flipping back and forth through these screens, because now I got two magic screens, and I can flip. I can go from over here. Look, watch this. I take this screen and put it over here in front of me where I can see it. It's funny. And then I can put it back over there where you can see it. See what I'm saying? So it's cool. So now, that's what I'm saying. The collaboration is going to be, everybody's going to be linked up in their own separate businesses. So we're undoubtedly going to have 500 people interested in the same thing. You know, the people that do the hair products, the people that do the shea butters and stuff like that. It's going to be 500 of you going to want to do that. So You get together in one company, and that company becomes the $10 million company very easily. And then a percentage of that goes to, in his plan, which is our plan, because it's a co-op, anybody who gets involved with his plan and helps build it is the co-op. So that's me. So, but he is a student of mine, but he's just more masterful at execution. So, in the Bebop plan, which is a gentleman, Israelite brother who was inspired by my attempts, my immature attempts to do budgets and try to write logistics. I don't know how to do all that stuff. You know, I'm from the hood. You know, I don't know how to do none of that stuff. You feel me? So I guess he felt sorry for me or something, and then wrote up a thorough 3-hour presentation of the logistics of how we're going to set up the 48 cities. So it's nearly flawless, and so it's exponentially better than how I present. So we're going to go with that, and all of you guys are going to be extremely prosperous. It's automatic. And that's not even the end goal. The end goal is for us to claim our inheritance. So there's a man by the name of His Imperial Majesty, whose full name is Tiburcio Villamor Marcos IV, right? I was going to show you, but I'm not going to show you. Tiburcio Villamor Marcos IV, he's a 7-star general in the Philippines. He is the sole controller of the inheritance of the Israelite family, super family, the Israelite diaspora. He's the sole controller of our physical wealth. And our physical wealth puts the GDP of all 195 countries in the world, their GDP would be 1% of our family's wealth. So the tables will be turned to where we own 99% of the world's wealth and they own 1%. But it doesn't appear that that is even possible, because he's the sole controller of our inheritance, and he's about to dish it out to the nations and bail them out of debt. So everybody's kind of like draining their debt right now, and just completely draining their assets. They're selling everything off, and they're giving all of their money away so that they can be in debt, so that Tiburcio Villamor Marcos IV can bail them out of debt and be the top world leader, you know, the top leader of the top leading World Bank over the World Bank in Washington, D.C. It's above the World Bank in New York. I think the World Bank is in New York. It's in New York or Washington, D.C., I don't care. But yeah, he's in control of the Israelite diaspora's physical fortune. And it's 99 times the value of all 195 countries' GDPs combined. So that's why I think it's going to be impossible, because people have gold fever and they got crazy power, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to try to hold on to our fortune forever, you know what I'm saying? So I'm expecting them to attempt to give us 10%, but the way the fortune is valuated, right? The fortune is valuated at infinite. It has infinite value. That's just how rich our family is. That's how rich our family is. So there's no such thing as 10% of infinity. You feel me? So I mean, but I know initially I asked him for 1.3 quadrillion dollars in order to manage reparations for the United States, to bail them out of the reparations debt. So that would put us on a great square, a great standing. That would make us look friendly and favorable and peaceable and very wise to manage their debt to the descendants of slaves. See what I'm saying? So if he gives us the new nation of Israel, the reparations debt, which is evaluated at $1.25 quadrillion, and then we'll have $1.3 quadrillion, right? That would leave us with $200 trillion to invest in our infrastructures and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So, and we could easily, I mean, if he wants that is kind of similar to that's not 10% of infinity, but it's a lot. So that's what I asked for. I mean, as soon as I can figure out what 10% of infinity is, then I'll ask for more. But a portion of that is gonna have to be, it must be loans. It's gonna have to be, because I can't see, just don't understand. You know, he has access to every bit of our wealth. And I'm pretty sure, based on a lesson that I gave a couple of weeks ago, that he is a Temanite, right? So Job was tortured on behalf of the Temanites, and the Temanite guys, two friends. See what I'm saying? So they were two different nations. They were all three of those friends were three different nations. And Job, as we all know, is an Edomite. So he was tortured on behalf of those three people: the Temanite, which is an Edomite, and the other two nations, the other two homeboys of the Temanite. So he claims to be descended from the Temanites. So I'm imagining that the Most High put him in that position because he knows that the Temanites will do the right thing when commanded to do so. Just like he commanded the Temanites to perform a sacrifice in the presence of Job, and it was accepted by the Most High, and they were accepted, and they were, you know what I mean? So you never read about them falling off or anything like that. And so when you go down to the history of the Philippines, they were conquered by the Spanish, but they were under occupation by Japan for the longest, you know what I mean? And then they were eventually conquered by the Spanish, and then the Philippines incrementally got their independence over a span of 110 years. See what I'm saying? So they met with people, they kept meeting with people for 110 years, and then if I'm not mistaken, it was Truman who gave them their independence, Harry S. Truman. So that's one of the approaches that my team is doing. So one of the teams is performing a practiced working government, you know what I mean, where they live together and they pool the resources together, and you understand. So they live together in proximity. They pool the resources, the dollar exchanges multiple times within their community before it leaves out of the community, and they practice powernomics in one of the plans, and then over time that will be viewed as a successful, functioning, real nation. And then the brother wants to approach the world powers and the actual nations that are already established, and then be recognized, for them to recognize us as a nation because we're living it. And then, like I said earlier, another one of our teammates is doing it the opposite way, where he presents the resolution and the nation paperwork to the rest of the world, and then they recognize it as a nation. So we have been recognized. His plan has been recognized as a nation already. See what I'm saying? So now he has to construct it and build it and attract the talent into the nation, and it's an agrarian concept. So his nation will be mostly farmers. See what I'm saying? That's what agrarian means. It's like an agricultural society. So I'm a technologist, you know what I mean? So I'm going to be doing that, you know. So that's how that works. Okay, that's us here in America. They gave us a diplomatic platform to build on, with seats next to all the presidents at the African Union. This is everything our civil rights leaders would have dreamed of. If we simply took time to hold our 6 region elections at any point between 2005 and 2019, we would have diplomatic infrastructure in place to respond to COVID-19 issues, such as vaccinations and martial law, from an official state vantage point, because we would be a state, and then we would have the medicinal capabilities. You know, if we had held elections prior to, we still haven't held elections, you see what I'm saying? So that's what we need to do. We gotta hold elections. So that's the third option that we're using. One option is to build a whole nation, attract the talent, get them in there with the technologies, and build $1 million companies, and then govern ourselves for a year or two, and then everybody recognizes how wise and brilliant we are, and then approach all the nations to recognize us as a nation. The second is he's already has us recognized as a nation, the nation of Yasharan, wherein the ambassador paraphrased our resolution to the world in front of everybody. And so we were so highly impressed by that, and we was high-fiving each other, you know what I mean? Like, we don't even hardly meet anymore, because that was the biggest hurdle, trying to get recognized as a nation. And we got recognized lickety split. And now they at the table getting ready to send us some money. Going to send us some money. See what I'm saying? So for us to return to Africa. You see? But you got to, if you get on that plan, you got to go to Africa. So I'm going. Now, the third plan that I'm talking about is what I'm reading out of now. So this plan says that he wants to set up the elections, and the elections won't need to be recognized by any other nation, but they have to formally recognize you as a nation. But when you perform your own autonomous elections, that's a big statement saying that we're free. We're free for real. So don't even try it. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers will die for that freedom. People that are free ain't never been free before, and then they're gonna have to go back into some type of subjugation. Why you think white people so gangster? Because they always been free. They always stole everything everywhere. You see what I'm saying? So they don't want to ever experience slavery. See what I'm saying? So they're gonna fight. They don't fight. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? You try to put them in slavery, they're gonna fight. You feel me? Yeah, but you know, we already in slavery and don't know how to fight because they systematically arrested every tall black person in America, every muscular black person in America. They killed as many as they could, and now time's up. It's just too much. We can't take it no more. We getting ready to fight. We getting ready to fight for real. You playing games, you keep killing us. All 50 states is doing a protest simultaneously that never happened in the history of mankind. The countries in Africa are doing protests. Australia is doing a protest, and countries in Europe are doing a protest. On our behalf, on behalf of George Floyd. That was the catalyst for it. You think it's a game if you want to. Now, imagine if they come around trying to beat people up and shoot people. You know what I'm saying? You can pick off one or two people cussing you out and kill them. But people with guns, you ain't gonna be able to do no shit like that with no people with guns. You see what I'm saying? Now, we fed up now. I done told you, I done warned you 3 times already. I done warned you 3 times already. You got to bow down on both knees with your face towards the earth and recognize that we are the holy city of Zion. You got to denounce the Jewishers. And then the war will be over. The war in America will be over. It's not, I mean, it's brewing for a war now. So I'm a civil war preventionalist. I don't want the civil war to happen because I already know it's going to be a lot of people dying on both sides, which I don't want to see. But if it's got to be, it's got to be. It's not my will, but the will of the Most High that needs to be done. You understand? And he say everybody's going to go back to their own type of family, their own race, and they're gonna come out swinging. That's what the book say. But you know, so it ain't my will, it's the will of the Most High. And that's where I go. All right, so now we would have had diplomatic infrastructure in place to respond to COVID-19 issues such as vaccinations and martial law from an official state vantage point if we would have had elections already between 2005 and 2019. The new map was also designed to solve all the 6 region issues. So it's the perfect starting point for filling those seats in 2020. I've supported the 6 region movements since 2013. So I know about the real-time issues organizations are experiencing in getting it off the ground. The most effective thing that can happen for the 6th region is to evolve from the self-appointed leadership era and finally hold an election so we can have our truly elected leaders as was requested of us. That is not to discredit the individual groups who took on the responsibility of pushing the 6th region before the world knew what it was. However, it is time for the nationwide community to focus on the 6th region and give it more legs to stand on because it's the best thing we have going for us. So yeah, so our success is going to be so tremendous, and so we're going to have to share that with the entire earth. You understand? So if you've seen Wakanda, right? The king was kind of semi viewed as a sellout for giving the technology to the rest of the world. See what I'm saying? The vibranium to the rest of the world. But see, our technology, that was just symbolic of our technology. It's talking about vibranium. So what they're talking about is our vibratory abilities that can awaken based on sure physics, SURE. So let me pull that up because I know I'm talking about stuff that is just kind of vague, and I don't like to be vague. Okay, so let's tell you what this is. So Sheer Summer Program, preparing students to study physics, Khan Academy. Okay. Let's see if we got this here. Sheer Program in robotics. Okay, the Sheer Program offers students the opportunity to participate in outings just for fun. Georgia Tech's Sheer Robotics Program is led by Ayana Howard and Layla Conrad. Now, I just want to show the definition of sure because, you know, I don't want you to be, I'm not the author of confusion, or the Most High is not the author of confusion. I confuse people sometimes. Okay, so now the branch of physics, the branch of physical science that deals with the properties and phenomena of both visible and invisible light and with vision. That's just physics by itself. Okay, so sure physics, loosely speaking, the study, let me say, loosely speaking, right? Sure physics, let me, I know I can find it. See, loosely speaking, the sure physics is like the describing of miracles. You know what I mean? How to replicate miracles. That's exactly what it is, but I just want you to see it. You know what I'm saying? So what they're trying to determine is, do miracles happen, right? Do miracles exist? And then try to replicate them. Kind of like, you know, ghost hunting and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like these things are beyond mainstream scientist comprehension. See what I'm saying? So they have a branch of physics that studies what would be considered miraculous and trying to figure out and determine how that's happening. You see what I'm saying? And how to replicate it so that we can be more advanced. Because I think we kind of we've been at a plateau of technology for a long time because, you know, the Most High only gave them enough, you know what I'm saying, to do his will. And they are not worthy of the miraculous physics because what they do is just corrupt everything. You see what I'm saying? Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolute. But when it comes to somebody that's as harmless as a dove, power don't corrupt you. See what I'm saying? So the new map was also designed to solve all the six region issues. So it's the perfect starting point for filling those seats in 2020. I've supported the 6 region movement since 2013, and I know about the real-time issues organizations are experiencing in getting it off the ground. The most effective thing that can happen for the 6th region is to evolve from the self-appointed leadership era. That's kind of what we're in now with the schools that we call the camps. You see what I'm saying? So we just kind of appoint ourselves, or we're talking about like Farrakhan, who has just appointed himself as the leader of everybody. You can't do that. You have to be elected by the people. The people have to speak for you. But see, Farrakhan is so popular and has done so much work in the community that the people, his people, want him to be the leader. Now, I mean, that's just like every camp too. You know what I'm saying? So every camp is very grateful that their leader has taught them their nationality and taught them discipline and all the stuff that go, all that good stuff. So, however, it is time for the nationwide community to focus on the sixth region and give it more legs to stand on because it's the best thing we have going for us. Okay, so chapter 4, manual instructions for use. Assemble a crowd of 3,000 plus Black business people at a 6th region embassy or temporary embassy for a migration conference. That's going to be in Atlanta. I'll be there. The conductor introduces and tests the audience response system by instructing the audience to send a greeting message to the system. Get started. Number 3, get started. Instruct the audience to text their top 3 asset resources to the audience response system. This will generate a long list of resources owned by the audience members. The 24 elders and their chiefs begin analyzing the resource list and structuring 6 potential Black businesses per hour for 7 hours. 1 hour and 1 hour of live entertainment for lunch break. That's number 5. And number 6, when a chief structures a business venture, the names of the individuals whose resources were used to create the business model are listed on a cover sheet that includes other information such as the type of business, estimated annual revenue, estimated startup costs, etc., is passed to the conductor. When the conductor receives a cover sheet, he calls the names on the sheet and assigns them to a meeting area. The individuals go to the meeting area to meet, discuss the business venture, and validate their ownership of the essential resources for the businesses. If the parties want to execute the business venture, then the cover sheet is signed and returned to the embassy. Chapter 5, treaties of peace, automated map. You've got to present yourself friendly. Whenever you're doing something this major, you can't rah-rah, you can't act like you're finna kill everybody. How can you? You don't have you don't have nearly the capabilities they have. So that's just a stupid thing to think, to try to kill everybody. The best thing to do is just, when you self-determine, the best thing to do is this plan here. You hold elections. That says to the world, we are a nation. And then everybody comes to your aid and say, how can we help? And if you present yourself warlike, they're just gonna fly over you and just drop bombs all over you. They're just gonna sprinkle you. See what I'm saying? And you're all gonna die. See what I'm saying? So you have to present yourself friendly and say, well, okay, so we need these things. You see, just like the protesters today, they don't know what they need, so they're just walking around. We know what needs to be done. That's why I just spend all day just tweeting Congress people and senators and the president himself. And then people all up and down Africa. See what I'm saying? Because I know what we need. I know exactly what we need. So I tell them what it is. And that's what makes them move around. That's what makes them order the cops to kneel to everybody and things of this nature, because it works. Look at the results. That's how I gauge everything. What is the reaction to anything that happens, any incident? what is the reaction that will take place? So if you kneel on both knees with your hands, you know what I'm saying? They kneeling on one knee. My ex trying to tell me that they're mocking George Floyd by doing that, which is she got a good little argument there, but I don't think that's the case, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I don't think that's the case. I think they're kneeling in submission to the protesters, realizing and accepting their grievances and saying that you're right. And then I saw the guy in my city in Fayetteville, North Carolina, our protest just ended last night because the cops finally decided to kneel for the first time ever. And so one of the cops in the back threw the bloody fist up, which I don't do the bloody fist at all. I don't believe in the bloody fist. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's neither here nor there. That's way above your pay grade. I don't throw no bloody fist up nowhere. You understand? So I am a blood. What I need to blood, what I need to put up a bloody fist for. You understand? So I don't need to put up no bloody fist. I turn my fist into blood through your chest, pull your heart out. No, I'm just playing with you. But no, I'm just fucking with you. But yeah. So once they kneeled last night, the protesters started hugging the cops, and the cops started hugging the protesters, and it was pounding each other. You know what I'm saying? And giving each other the pound and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like. So it's over for Fayetteville. Fayetteville they ain't protesting no more until they do some other super egregious murder. I mean, they've been murdering people all throughout the protests. So the protest should never end. But the way you protest is you redirect your energy to building. You redirect your energy to. See, that's something the Hulk couldn't do. The Hulk, when he got mad, he just smashed things. Smash, smash, smash. That's what y'all doing. Because y'all are the Incredible Hulk. You're invincible. But then see, he could never, in the Incredible Hulk form, he could never build anything. So that's what you saw in the last Avenger movie with the Thanos boy. The Incredible Hulk was permanently stuck in his right mind with the same smashing power, the same invincibility. But now he can think. Now he knows how to build. See what I'm saying? Now he can talk to people rationally, the whole movie. And he was the most worthy to go through time and fix time, fix the past. You see what I'm saying? So now we got our ancient future present to us. You know what I'm saying? He's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? When he tried to fix the past, he came back and he was, you know what I'm saying, he wore out and whatnot. But, you know, he messed up. But he was the most worthy person to do it because we are the most innocent people. We are the apple of God's eye. We are the chosen people. So the Incredible Hulk in his right mind was chosen to go into the past and fix all that stuff that happened in the Thanos movie. I really don't like using movie wisdom, but I thought that would be a good comparison for you. So chapter 5, Treaties of Peace, automated map. Based on the manual map algorithm, a mobile app will be developed to streamline the matchmaking and list interaction process. So like I said, matchmaking will be the people who have similar interests of the businesses that they want to do solo, but then they're going to be matched with other people who have the same interests, and then they're going to create a extremely successful multi-million-dollar business. The app will require a registration and sign-in process. Once the user is registered, they will create their profile. Their profile will have a section dedicated for depositing resources in their account. This section will require users to prove their ownership of the resources with variable documentation. A dedicated verification team from the embassy will administer this section from the back end. So when we say the back end, we're talking about behind the scenes. That's where all things reveal something. You know what I mean? It's like this TV is made up of parts, all in it. And it gets its power from the wall. The wall gets its power from the power box attached to the house. And the power box attached to the house gets its power from the green box down the street. The green box down the street gets its power from the power plant, the local power plant that's close to this area. See what I'm saying? And that power plant produces its own power. So there's people who understand these type of building processes that you should become a part of, you know what I mean? So like I said, you're invincible, but now you have to learn how to think and then link up with other people who know what to do. You see what I'm saying? Like that, you know, like the militia guys, they know that things only change when you present yourself as able to defend yourself. If you present yourself as being a pushover, then they're just going to keep tilting you over like they did that old man. They had the blood coming out his ear and just pushed him over and just kept walking. The police did. See what I'm saying? They're just going to keep doing that unless you get smart. Okay. Once the user is registered, they will create their profile. Their profile will have a section dedicated for depositing resources in their account. This section will require users to prove their ownership of the resources with variable documentation. A dedicated verification team from the embassy will administer this section from the back end or behind the scenes. Proximity is the key to triggering the app's matchmaking. People that live near each other, you know, 100 miles close to each other or something to that effect. When more than one registered user comes within a specified distance of each other, the app will automatically analyze all resources deposited into every registered user's account in the area, just like the 24 elders and their chiefs do in the manual version. If the app identifies any business partnership potential between any of the users in range, a notification will be sent to all relevant users who are needed for the business model. So like I said, you sign up, there's already 600 people signed up before you say, well, I want to make clothes, 600 people. Today you sign up and say, I want to make clothes. A message will be sent out to the other 600 users that want to make clothes. And then you all are going to link up together in the same company and produce a successful multi-million-dollar company, guided by people who already know how to do that. So you're not going to be alone thinking on your own and, oh, I can't, what about the bills, and trying to stress all your worries. There ain't no worries here. Ain't no worries. Okay? So get your mind out of crab in the barrel mentality. You see what I'm saying? We're going to help each other. Using artificial intelligence, the app will generate a business summary report and a notification, just like the cover sheet generated by the 24 elders and their chiefs, detailing how much potential revenue can be earned by the partnership, bullet points of the requirements to launch the business, and the startup costs associated. The identities of the other partners will not be disclosed unless all parties respond to notification as interested, quote unquote. So all 600 people before you got to say, I'm interested in the new guy. See what I'm saying? Or the new woman. See what I'm saying? Once all parties declare their interest in the business model, an encrypted chat group will automatically be opened, allowing all parties access to video conferencing or group text. So, like I said, Zoom can hold 1,000 people, 1,000 people. So you got 601 people. They can all fit on the Zoom app. Okay, and you can have a conference. We're living in the future, man. Catch up, hot dog. Once all parties declare their interest in the business model, an encrypted chat group will automatically be opened, allowing all parties access to video conference or group text. Document and media files will be able to be posted in the group conversation. Chapter 6, Chapter 7, Chapter 8. Okay, I'll read some more of this tomorrow. But what you need to do is get up with me the best way you can, or you know how to get in contact with people. If you see this video, then it's easy to get up with me. And get involved, get your diplomatic immunity, tell us your business, I mean, what type of business you want to go into, and you got monies waiting on you. So stop playing. Shalom.